Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and we've got a slightly different view today because we're going to be doing some work on hydroponics. And so what I've done is I've put the computer in a different place. You get a different view of my kitchen. Excuse me. And hopefully this will work. So can you hear me okay would be my first question for those of you who are already online. Because I am using a different system, so I just need to check whether everything's working properly. I'm just going to get something out of the fridge, and that is to show you. A second. Oops. All right, so hi there, Jody. Can you hear me okay? I'm just using a different system, and I just want to make sure that it's working properly. Okay, great. I'm using wireless earbuds. How about that? Very technical. Okay, so here I've got romaine hearts. I don't know if you guys have noticed already, but you know, when I used to buy romaine hearts, they were big ones and they would hardly fit in the bag. And now they're really quite pathetic. When you buy strawberries now, you know, you're lucky if you get half of them that you can eat. So obviously, we are already having an issue with the results of the pandemic. So what I'm going to do is is try and coordinate all of this, but it's me. So you know anything can happen now. So for those of you who might be new, welcome. We are a group of people who like to, well, DearMamaSal is all about helping you cope with love, with life, with any problems you might be having. We're a group of people that like to be an extended family. We learn from each other. We support one another. Hi, Sam. We support one another, and we also care about one another. And in terms of subjects and things, basically, if you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, it's a really good idea to write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com. And I will do what I can to add it to the list if I think it's something that the viewers will enjoy. And today, what we're going to be talking about is how I grow. I'm just going to see if I can turn this. I can. My hydroponic lettuce. The hydroponic just means hydro. It means it's sitting in water. It's not actually hydro in Canada means electricity. So that's not the same thing. But this is hydroponic lettuce, and also how I grow stuff from the root, the bottoms of fruit and vegetables that I get in from the store. So that's what I'm going to show you. So we're also going to be covering, hi Pat, good to see you. We're also going to be covering achievements, procrastination, scam. Hi Sandy, good to see you. My scare of the week, my mistakes of the week, as usual. I'm going to make those a regular thing because I realize every week I seem to have them happening to me. So the first thing I wanted to say about hydroponics is to make sure that you understand that this is about my way. It's not the right way. You know, some people are going to look at this and go, but that's not the right way. And I'm going, I really don't care. It works for me. Do any of you relate to that? You know. And so I'm going to just see if I can find my light here. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to keep talking. I want to see if you can still hear me, because I'm going to go and get another light quickly. Still hear me? A good test if we can. Right, did you all still hear me when I walked away? Good. All right, I don't think that's helped a great deal. The reason is I've got sun coming from here now. Where would I need the light? Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Okay, let me put it in a different system. There we go. Not really, but we can do this anyway, right? What I love about DearMamaSal people is that they make a plan. All right, so my way. Now, quick warning at the front end of this. If you decide this is a good idea and maybe you'd like to try it and you happen to be renting, please make sure you check your lease, your rental agreement, because some of them actually say you cannot grow vegetables in your house. Now, I personally want to know, why can you grow plants in your house but not vegetables? And I'd probably fight that in a court of law, being me. But this is like, I think it was in the days when people were growing, pot farms inside their houses. But I'm pretty certain in a pandemic, I would definitely have a, but if you're a renter, check your agreement to make sure that it doesn't say that. Quick update before we start, because I know it's important. For those of you who've been watching Benny the Bean grow, look at this, that whole top section is really, I've got lots of different flowers coming. And so I think within a week or two, we're going to actually have beans on this thing, which I'm very excited about. So just a reminder, if any of you want to, I explained that I am available at DearMamaSal@gmail.com, but under DearMamaSal, I'm available at all the regular places. Make sure you subscribe here, click on the bell, and when it says, do you want to be notified of everything, say yes, because then if I do a surprise broadcast, you will be informed. But the one thing I want to give a heads up on is on Instagram, you have to type the words, the real DearMamaSal, as one word. The reason is when I went to go and register DearMamaSal, I was late. I had already started DearMamaSal. I'd been going for a couple of months, and I didn't ever think I would use Instagram. Yeah, right. And by the time I did, somebody had taken the name from me. So, I hope they're happy. So if you, thank you very much, Jody, for putting that up. Manon, bonsoir. Comment ça va? Manon joins us here from France. And and it's always a pleasure. Okay, so let me carry on with this. Under the heading of Be Prepared, Not Scared, just a quick update. For those of you who are family here, the extended family, you probably heard that Jeannie's house went up in flames this week. I'm still trying to find out. I think what I'm going to do is put up a general notice for people to try and get her, gift cards and things that they can use for what they need. Because you understand that clothes went up, just about everything they own went up in flames. So I'm pretty certain, knowing my viewers, that some of you will want to contribute to this, but she was very particular not to have money, apparently. So I said, well, we're creative. We don't have to give you money. We could give you gift cards and things like that. So I'm still trying to finalize that, how we do that. And if anybody, I think maybe if you get the gift card number and then send it to me and I'll send it on to her. No, it was a freak accident, Pat. It wasn't because of the riots. It was a totally freak accident. And for those of you, by the way, I quite honestly, I'm going to let her talk about that. I choose not to talk about how it happened. I think that's their business, not ours, myself. But I understand people are interested. Enough to say that it was a totally freak accident. Under also Be Prepared, Not Scared, as my battery on my car went flat again this week, and I did buy a new battery charger. You all, the regulars, know that I bought, one of the first things I bought to the house when I bought it a couple of months ago was my battery charger, because my car is inclined to go flat on the battery. And guess what? I still haven't found it. I'm 4 months of unpacking, and I probably put it down somewhere and all the boxes went in front of it, and it may be, another 6 months before I find it. So I bought another one, and my battery has just finished charging now. I wanted to also address the issue of Black Lives Matter. The reason being that for some of you know that one of my sons, Doug, is from Kenya. And he has for the longest time said to me how fearful he is when he goes to the States. And I've got to say that because it's true. And I didn't ever it's difficult for us to understand how fearful that is, perhaps. So what I wanted you all to know is that it really is this whole thing about there being a different standard, is real. I'm pretty certain most of you know that. It really is real. And I asked Doug, what is it that we can do, because you've experienced it, what is it that we can do to help make people understand this better? And the one thing he said to me, which I thought was interesting, because I'm going to talk to my people about it, and he said, tell them not to be silent. Tell them to talk about it. Tell them to ask people that they know, that when you socialize again, how many people of color are in your circle of friends? All right. And if you say none, why? Ask yourself that, right? And so, when I look at it, I'm beginning to have conversations with him, and I thought you'd probably be interested in that, which is I'm going to ask him questions about how racist I am, even though I don't think I am. I want him to give me examples that I am not aware of. And I thought some of you might be interested in that. So please talk about what's going on, understand that it's real, understand that it's terrifying. And I want to tell you, even as a visitor, there are times when I go into the States that I'm truly scared of your cops. I have to say that. It's true. So don't be silent. Talk to the people who are affected and listen to what they say. And also for those of you who are going to go back to work, make sure that you talk about it at work. Have a good look at what happens at work. Do you have people of color at work? And if not, why not? And if you do they get treated differently? If you're having summer barbecues, talk about it. All right. The more people talk about it and get and ask questions of people. If you hear somebody obviously being bigoted or racist or whatever, ask questions and try and challenge their minds a little bit. I would say you may not be able to change the world, you may not be able to change the laws, but you can probably change the attitude in your circle of influence. All right, however small that might be. And that's what I would ask of you. All right, so my tip for the week before we get to the big one is, how many of you eat apples and throw the cores away? You're the center part of the apple. What I've discovered, I think I should show you that. Hang on one second. We're going to do another test here. Oh, yeah, that works. Okay, getting an apple, in case you wonder what I'm up to. All right, so this is going to be 2 tips in 1 for you. Number 1, the way I core an apple, just so you know, is I core it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I want to keep this apple because that's important. And I'm going to quickly put it in something with some lemon water. Hold on one second, because I'm going to eat it later. probably eat it while we talk. No, probably not. Just getting some lemon. Here. Oh, I see what I did. I put it there. That's where I normally put things I don't want you to see on camera. Okay. I'll put it here for now. All right. So, where are we? So you get the idea now then. The point I was trying to make is, how many of you throw this away? And what I wanted to suggest to you is don't do that. I've been throwing this into my magic bullet with my, I take Metamucil every day. But I throw it in with my Metamucil and just blend it up, literally. I just put it in my magic bullet. By the way, this is well water, so it's well. Okay. I got the wrong blade in there. Hold on a second. We get the right blade. Now I know where it is. Just bear with me. I don't know if you guys can see my fridge. I accidentally bought a double order, a double order of groceries. I got a very full fridge. So this is the mixture I made yesterday, but I just want to get the right blade going here. And what I do is I just put a squeeze of lemon in it. Okay, see you later, Pep. You can catch it on the replay. All right, I just put a squeeze of lemon in there. And now I've got an apple drink that I can mix my Metamucil with, or just put ice cubes in and have a refreshing drink. So it works beautifully. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to give you. The next thing that I wanted to tell you is, my next tip of the day is consider using motion detector lights in places where you just don't stay in the room very long. Let's think about, what rooms do you not stay in very long? I'm thinking, obviously, maybe the washroom. Yeah, Jodie's saying she loves that idea. Jodie, it was for you. That's why I did it. I want to get it out of the sun. I put it in the fridge if I had room, people. But, it's just like, it's another thing not to waste. And it's, as you say, more fiber, and it's a good idea. So think about motion detector lights. My bedroom is one end of the house, my kitchen is this end of the house. And so I do a lot of walking because I use the bathroom in my bedroom area, and I obviously use the kitchen a lot. So what I've done is, the darkest place in my house is the craft room, which is the room between those two. And so what I've done is I've put a light in. You're going to want to see that, right? Yeah. You want to see it. Hold on. Now, obviously, it's really, really bright here. So you're going to see it turn off. And once it turns off, I'll turn it back on again. It's all very exciting. Let me know when it turns off. There it goes. Okay, so now what happens is I walk past it. I literally, of course, that's not going to do it. It's too bright in here. Get it out of the sun. Can you still see it? Come on. We'll try it in a minute. The good news is it normally works. So I'm not sure why it's not working at the moment. Come on. I hate it when experiments go wrong, but that's life. So. Now I don't know whether it's on or off. Okay, I'll keep playing with it and we'll get it right in a minute. So what I've got is that light that normally works sitting in my craft room. So as I go by, I just put my hand over the top of it and it turns it on so I can go to the kitchen. And then when I come back, if it's gone out already, I just put my hand over it again and it turns it back on, but it automatically turns itself off. So I'm looking at different sorts of lights like that. I'm going to experiment with a few. But I hope that you guys understand that how much that saves. Normally, I would need to have that light on all the time for safety reasons, in that area. The other thing I found is consider getting some of these. Now, these are motion detectors, but they need batteries or they need charging. Turn it off. Okay, and you've got three choices. You can have it on, which is what I had, or you can have it off. Now, what will happen is if it gets dark enough, yeah, it's not going to work, is it? I thought maybe it would. Anyway, if it gets dark enough, this will, and it has motion. Oh, it needs motion as well as dark. It's not my day for having these things work, is it? There we go. See that? And I have these. I also have these around the house. I have them around the floor in my kitchen, so that as I walk into the kitchen, these light up, and as you can see, that's pretty bright. But it means if I at night go into the kitchen quickly to get something, I don't have to worry about turning on a light. I just walk in, get what I want, and gone again. So just a thought about saving. How many of you can see that's a money saver? I like the fact that I can fire it up with my USB. It doesn't take very long to get it charged, and I actually probably fire this one up maybe twice a week. To recharge it. I also have them outside. Think about this. My outside area is pretty private, but I have them on the steps going outside. I have one. So that as I start to go down the steps, they highlight the steps. So I thought I'd add that little trick for you. Let me see what else I've got here. I apologize for my voice. I'm waiting for the allergy meds to kick in, which they will do pretty soon, but unfortunately, I got up late this morning. All right, so that's my stuff. Here we go. Let's do the hydroponics. And let's start with this. I want to show you, first of all, how I grow lettuce. Okay, how I grow lettuce from the bottom of lettuce. So all this is going to be properly washed in vinegar and everything in a minute, but I'm just for the sake of doing this, I want to show you what I do. What I do is I take the lettuce out and I cut off the bottom part of it. Okay? And what do you do with these, people? So let me tell you what I do with them. I wrap them in paper towel and just leave them. Keep the paper towel moist. You know, what I do is I fill it with water so that the paper towel absorbs a lot of water. I hold on to it like this, and then I empty the water out. So now I know this is properly wet. And then I leave it. And look, that's all new growth. Isn't that beautiful? How many of you going, who would have thunk that? So I'm thinking, you know, if I need just a little bit of lettuce for a sandwich or something, I would take it from here, because that's absolutely fresh, new leaves, beautiful. Some of you know that I have been trying to see if I can grow lettuce in a wine glass, in case this is not hydroponics, obviously, but here they are, growing quite nicely. I've got 3 of them that are growing, so that's good. We'll wait until they come out of there, I hope. This is like a mini system. For those of you who eat yogurt, consider doing this. Oops, I punched some holes in the bottom of the first one in here, and then this has the water in it here. Self-contained watering system, very simple. So that's mint, and I think this is a pepper of some sort. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, now then, be careful of potting soil. Can you see the mushrooms growing there? Amazing. And by the way, this is Tommy the tomato, and I got this seed from cutting up a grape tomato that's in my fridge. Just literally put it in, and it grew. So, do you all get the idea about this? How simple this is? Now, think, if you can, about not throwing away. Sharon and Jody are both going, would never have thought about yogurt cups. Yeah, I use them for all sorts of things. I think I've got, yeah. different brand. But these are basil plants that I'm growing this way. Okay, normal way. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is, because I keep talking about it, and I'm going to let you see it. When I cut the bottom bit, the bit with the roots on it, okay? When I cut that off an onion, I put it onto a wet paper towel, all right? And if it starts to grow green, all right, I know I can either plant it or I can keep it and use the growth as chives and stuff. That's a nice, easy way of doing it. And then do not throw away these magic containers. Hang on. Because containers are very important to me. I'll get it out in a minute. There we go. These ones with the pourers on them, I just cut them about 2/3 down. So about 1/3 here. No, I cut them about 2/3 down, and then turn them upside down, and I put paper towel inside. And this is a celery. Now you're all going, no. Yeah. And what will happen is, you probably can't see it. Maybe you can, I don't know. Let me get a pointy stick so I can show you. This has been on the paper towel for 2 days, and I don't know if you can see. Yes, you think you can. There and there. I've already got growth starting. Isn't that amazing? And again, oops, it's not a good thing. Again, can you still hear me? Because I pressed it. Maybe I pressed the wrong one. Okay. But it's really nice when you're cooking just to throw some celery greens into your cooking. Nice, fresh. You know it hasn't got any nasties on it because you've done it yourself. Now, my other experiment was I have got one kale plant, a very small one, that is growing. Thank you, Jody. That is growing in my garden that I didn't plant. It just came up by itself. And what I wanted to let you know is you can get kale leaves from the store and just put them in water. Eat some and put some in water. And after a while, there's also some mint there, obviously. After a while, they will start to grow some roots. As soon as I start to see roots on them, I put some earth inside a paper toilet roll center and keep it moist like this. And now what's happening is that is now growing inside here. As soon as the roots start to come outside, the roots will start coming through the cardboard. That means that the roots are pretty strong. Does that make sense to you? If they're strong enough to break through the cardboard, they're pretty strong roots. And that's when I start using the hydroponics. So I start them like this. And by the way, this is my lettuce that I grew from seed. Like, you cannot believe how difficult it is to grow lettuce, people. That's why I wanted to show you this. Okay, so we've got this. Let's put these away. All right. More lettuce. I'm trying all different ways ready for the winter. All right, so now this is my hydroponic garden of different size lettuces. All right, they have different ages on them. So I think this one I bought in mid-April. And again, when I want, a couple of leaves to go in a sandwich or something, there it is. And what it is a two-part system. The top part is holding, I want one that the roots haven't come through yet, this one, right? So the top part is holding this bit, right? This is how it came from the store. And then the bottom part is holding the water. So all you do is get yourself a couple of these plastic beakers. It's very, very easy to get them anywhere at this time of the year because of barbecues. And what you do all right, so interesting. Sharon's saying, I can see, she can see me in the store picking up the discarded leaves that actually, no, I'm not going to the stores yet. All right, so here you go. Turn the first one upside down and just clip out the corners. That's all I do. All right, you want somewhere where the leaves can come out. Leaves. I got Sharon's leaves on the brain now. The roots can come out. So can you see that? I've just literally cut holes in the bottom just by clipping off the corners, right? When I first get a new lettuce, this one is a new one. It came in 2 days ago. Hold on 1 second. Get this one out. When I first get them in, obviously, the roots are not going to be through the bottom yet, right? I mean, that makes sense to you. So what I do is I just fill the bottom one up with water. And then what I do is I let it just start to, I'm just going to take out some of these lesser brilliant leaves. And I just let it sort of start pushing the roots out. Now, what will happen as it starts sucking up the water will recede, obviously, go down. And in about a week, the roots will have gone all the way down to the bottom of this inside cup. And what I do then, and it's a very simple idea, I reuse my egg cartons. I cut off one little piece of an egg carton. And I float it in the water. So once I've got a few roots coming through, I put that little bit, that one little section of egg carton in the bottom so that it keeps this up. And that makes the roots go down to follow the water all the way down to the bottom. Okay? Right. Sharon's saying, I probably have 100 of those cups, found packs of 24, I think, for about 25 cents per pack. Yes, that's right. So here's a really good idea for them. All right. So anybody got any questions? This one I bought mid-April as well. And look at it. I'm still eating from it. All right. And so this one is probably a week old because I haven't got the roots coming through yet. Okay, so let's see how he's doing. No roots yet. So it stays like this. By the way, you'll be surprised how much water they suck up. Yeah, this one, also the roots haven't come through yet, but it's still giving me new leaves. That's the important thing. And this one, beauty. Yeah. This is late April. Or is it April? Yeah, late April. Look at it. See the roots? And how many of you are going, that is amazing. I'm trying to find out how many do I need in my house so that I don't need to buy. Now, obviously, I'm just one person, but I'd like you to think about, I probably buy I'm now down to buying, instead of buying lettuce, both romaine, the romaine lettuce and the butter lettuce, I normally would buy those every week. And quite honestly, at the moment, I'm down to doing it every month now. So I had a feeling you guys would like that. Simple though, right? Now, the one thing I will say that's important is that I do feed them. All right, I don't just put regular water in, even though it's, what do you call it? Well water. What I do is I make up a mixture of Miracle Grow and water, and then I fill up this is my watering bottle. I'll fill up my watering bottle to about this full and then just top it up with the Miracle Grow. I'm looking for the color to be just slightly pale blue, right? This is way too strong. This is what I use. Got the idea? And this one just lasts me all week, because I keep filling up, just adding a little bit whenever I water. So what I'm doing is I'm constantly giving the lettuce, when I top them up, I'm constantly giving them nutrients. And that's what hydroponics is. Plants growing in water with nutrients. There you go. So can you see that I'm waiting for this to establish itself and get serious roots, and then I can drop it into a system like that? All right, I just want to make sure the roots are strong. And I'm doing that in my yogurt cups. This one, right? I would say in about a month, it'll start. It's funny, by the way, I want to tell you, the leaves don't come from where you think they're going to. I just want to tell you from experience. and they don't all work, right? You have to be prepared to fail. It's a difficulty for some of you, but me, it's just like, okay, if it grows, I'm happy. If it doesn't, I'm fine. I assure you, I'm very happy with this one. And all it's growing in is a wet paper towel wrapped around it. This, of course, I just want to double check that you all know, this is a milk jug turned upside down. And that's just some paper towel type stuff, you know, the brown one, stuck in the bottom and through. And now it's a self-watering system. Very easy to make. And that's going to come up with chives any minute now. Now, some of them, just so that you do know, for those of you who've been watching me for a while, I don't have nearly as much on my windowsill there because I've got a gardening type windowsill. What do they call it? There's a name for it. Jody will tell me. You know, but because I've already planted things in the garden, what I wanted to tell you is that you need to be aware that things that are root vegetables, carrots, potatoes, anything like potatoes, yeah. I'm growing my own potatoes from potatoes that I bought. And I will show a picture of it. So how many of you are going, that's worth a try? You see, do the big experiment. It's summer coming up, or winter for some of you. But it's like, what if you could just even have 2 of them that you've got for the winter, that you can keep in a sunny, it's a bay window, but it's called a greenhouse window. There you go. I think that's what it's called, a greenhouse window. Well, I had a feeling you guys would be interested, but do you agree with me that if in the winter you had not even this much, just even a couple like this, that you could just have a couple of, you know, fresh leaves that you didn't have to even worry about because you know they didn't have any pesticides or anything on them. Oh, I was telling you about the kale. I had some kale. I made myself an udon bowl last night, and I had I've literally in my rice cooker, the bottom of my rice cooker, I just literally threw a little bit of oil in there, and I cooked some onion and some carrot and some peppers and some leeks from my garden. Oh, I did the same thing. I did this with leeks. For those of you who like leeks, I've got 3 of them growing in my garden, and I literally once a week go and cut one of them, and it's been keeping me going. It works, people. But in the winter, I obviously won't have them in the garden. So I will start off by having them on my deck, and then just for that little time that it's winter, I will bring some inside, and you're going to see that if you want to. Right, how I do all of that. So what will happen is I just don't throw the bottoms away anymore. So what I wanted to say is the root vegetables, they have to be in the dark. So if I wanted to, and you know I'm about to do this experiment, if I wanted to grow a carrot, I would need to grow it in a container that doesn't get the light coming through it. Make sense? So this one actually would work quite well if I wanted to grow a carrot inside. Quite honestly, it's probably not worth the time. But I also have to tell you, some of the carrots I've been getting recently are really substandard. I don't know why. They're sort of all centers and no nice fleshy outside bits. So I've started sowing some lettuce seeds just because I can. Now, for those of you who've got gardens, all these bits, I throw them all in my blender. I don't know if this is, I don't know what's on this thing anymore. Never mind. You know it works. But I just literally take my garden scraps and I throw them in my blender. And then once a day, or whenever it's full, I put half water in there, I fill it up halfway with water, set it going, and then I dig a hole in my garden and I feed it straight into my garden. For those of you who've got gardens. Now, we had a power outage this week. And you know, I've got candles coming out of my gazoos that I moved. But I did find the candle box. And actually, I found it after the power outage. But two things that we found out, just so that I can remind everybody. If there is a power outage and you have got a freezer as full as mine, which is full to the gums, you don't have to worry about it for 24 hours. In fact, 48 hours. They say that won't start thawing for 48 hours. So if you, just so that you know, don't open it. If you open the fridge even, it will lessen the time, all right? So, but I thought you'd like to know that. However, what was I going to tell you here? This was really important. Rats, I've got to stop doing that to myself. Do you do that to yourself? What was I talking about? Does anybody know? Because if nobody remembers, then I don't have to go back there. There was something about my fridge. No, power outage. Power outage, candles. There we go. Thank you. All right. So what I did is I eventually did find, hi, Laurie, good to see you. Laurie, we just had a tutorial on how to grow lettuce from the cutoffs, and also how to hydroponically keep your store-bought lettuce alive. All right, so here's the thing. After I got the candles and everything, I had, wait 1 second. I just want to show you something else. So do any of you have candles that look like this? It's like the big hole. That's what I wondered, if I'm the only one. Because what I thought I'd do next week, if any of you are interested, is to show you how I turn my candles into my tea lights. So these are my tea lights. I just keep topping them up. I chop them up from these. So if enough of you are interested, it's a very messy process and it takes, I just want to tell you, yeah, Sam, I am ingenious. Ask Jody. You know, it's just like, I love playing with stuff, but it's like, you know, we may need to do this, people. You know, if the price of things keep going up the way that it is, you're going to be grateful, you know, that you can, by the way, do you know how much heat these give out? You know, in the winter, you could save yourself a lot of money by heating some of your rooms with tea lights. Genius level verified. Okay, so next week, that's what you want? I decided that I didn't even think twice about these things, and I keep thinking to myself, maybe I should share this. Maybe not everybody does this. Now, how many of you think I'm cheap? Yeah, you probably do, but it's not that I'm cheap. You know, just look at what I spend on DearMamaSal. It's not that I'm cheap. I prefer to spend my money in different ways. Do any of you agree with me? It's like I'm prepared to to save myself $5 on lettuce so that I can spend that $5. I'm retired. My money is now very limited. So now I'd rather save the money here to be able to spend it somewhere else. Yeah, Laurie understands that. And I'm sure Jody does as well. Jody, lives on a very limited budget. And, I'm amazed some of the things she chooses to eat. What she does is she goes, this is how much money I have, but I choose to eat it. I don't choose to eat like baked beans on toast. And I think at one stage she said she's really glad that she's learned how to do the intermittent fasting, because if things get really bad, she can go a couple of days without food. Isn't that an interesting perspective? By the way, Jody, I didn't think it would ever happen, but I want to let you know that you have taught me well. And yesterday I was busy. This is very wet here. Hang on a second, people. Even now I get a lean against it. It's going to look like an E. Sensitive. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So to me, this is all about how can we live and enjoy what little money we have better. So I love it that Jody taught me how to intermittent fast. Yesterday, Jody, I was busy in the morning, and that's fine because I normally don't start eating until about 4 o'clock, as you know. That's my new routine. And I do a 12-hour fast every day minimum, but normally, actually, it's normally more than that, I would say. But anyway, but yesterday I was busy, and then I went out to go, do the pots and pans thing at 7 o'clock. That's when the community does it. And by the way, there's a really funny story about that because my neighbors, I haven't been out for a couple of days because I haven't been feeling too well. And apparently they've been leaving me text and I didn't see the text, very bad. But the funny thing was that they said, I was busy talking to them and they were complaining that the community organizers weren't doing the things that they wanted to do. And I looked at them and I said, well, why don't you do them? What? Well, because they don't want to do them. And I said, yeah, but why don't you do them anyway? You don't have to wait for a committee to do them, right? If you want to have a little block party, with just us, and our road has a number, right? It's a numbered street. And I said, we need a name for our street. Because that's me, right? Got to have a name. And then one of the neighbors said, let's call it heaven. And I went, that's nice. And she said, because that lot over there, hell. And I said, that's not so nice. But anyway, we in heaven can do, whatever we want within the rules. We don't have to wait for somebody else to organize it. So I said, we've already discussed this. When the weather gets a bit better, we're going to have a block party. Is that right? And I said, yeah. And they said, by the way, Sal, you've been away a bit, but we've decided we need a leader and you're it. And I said, I must admit, I said 2 words that meant go away. I said, I don't need to be a leader. I've done it all my life. I came here to retire, people. And then I felt really badly that I'd used the bad words. So I looked at my neighbor and I said, you know something? I am a hugger and I have not hugged anybody since March the 10th. Stand still and I need permission to give you a hug because I am so sorry I used bad language. And really bad. And I did. I gave her a hug. So now I've got to wait 2 weeks to find out if I'm sick. But anyway, so what happened was we were out there chit-chatting. I mean, we were chit-chatting. I think 4 of us were out there chit-chatting for so long that the husbands started to come out and go, are you guys okay? We're going, yeah, we're just doing women stuff, fixing the world. And so anyway, by the time I came back in again, Jody, it was busy because now I needed to get things done in the house and I was trying to charge my battery. And by the time I thought about food, it was 9:30 last night. Lordy. So I want to tell you, Jody, that you have taught me really well. But the trick is that I drink. I drink. I don't mean drink. I mean, I will have, like the apple juice concoction. I will drink that because that's not going to break a fast. All right. Or I think you said that a cup of milk is not going to break a fast. Am I right on that one, Jody? Just help me with this. Yes, Jody's saying when you're occupied, the time just flies. We don't get focused on food. I found it, quite honestly, Jody, I found this eating thing very akin to smoking. When I look at some of the struggles I have about not eating, I realize that it's the same stuff about smoking, right? That you have to have something to eat, unquote. You have to. No, you choose to. And now I'm making better choices, which you told me that I would. And I'm still, I seem to do okay until midnight. And then I need carbs. It's really strange. And which is totally the worst time to eat carbs, right? If you're going to eat carbs, don't eat them at midnight. All right, so up to 50 calories won't break it. So in total, right? It's not like one drink can be 50 calories and then you can have another 50-calorie drink. It's like in total. But I'm not even that fussed about it anymore, Jody. What I'm going is I just don't want to eat food until about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That's when I allow myself. Yep. Okay, so that's right. So to me, it's about learning to delay the food thing because I really have noticed, Jody, once I start eating, that's it. I keep eating. That's the interesting thing. So I think I'm a year behind you, right, in terms of learning. So I'm hoping by this time next year that won't be an issue for me. So I thought however, I do want to tell you that I have lost 4 pounds this week, so I must be back under control in a better way than I thought. All right, now then, achievements of the week. Jody, I did manage to make the oat milk. Do any of you know about oat milk? That's oat as in oatmeal milk. I'm not sure how much oatmeal costs in your neck of the woods, but just so you know, if for any reason you have trouble getting getting milk in the coming weeks, this is all under Be Prepared, Not Scared. What did I do with the oatmeal? I don't want to touch anything in my fridge. Everything will fall out. Anyway. But literally, it is so easy. You just take a cup of oats and you put it in so much water. There are 1,001 recipes online. And you just, hit it with a magic bullet or with your food processor. And then I have invested, that's not good. That's not good either. Gotta be careful with these things. These magical earbuds are from Cisco, my son's Cisco. Wrong drawer. Okay, Jody, I have to tell you that it must have made sense to me because I bought some nut bags. I think that's what they're called. They're not bags for nuts or people who are a bag. They literally, so when I make the oat milk, I can strain it now through a very fine mesh. And you will find there are different meshes, and Jody is an expert on things. She might even know what is the right mesh to get. This one was 2,300 mesh. That's pretty fine, I would think. Anyway, so I will be doing more experiments on those. So if you're really stuck for milk, you can make your own oat milk. And especially if you've bought a big bag of oatmeal, which I did. They do say that obviously if you want to be healthy, you get the organic oats rather than the store grape, but I don't worry about that. So the earbuds are a major achievement because that's learning something new. I bought these on Wish, Jody. No, I bought these on Amazon, but it looks to me like they came from the same place because I wanted them in a hurry. So I got them on Amazon. But if you got time to wait, I would get them on Wish. So the earbuds was a major achievement because it required that I learn something. Right, let me talk to you all. How many of you know that when you commit to learning something, it's going to be frustrating? Do you understand that? So here I am, I get this wonderful present from Cisco, and so that I can do just this. This is what I wanted to do. I want to be able, when I first saw this countertop, which is just awesome in size, and it's more this end. When I first saw this countertop, when I saw the house, I could see myself showing you stuff, right? I just knew it was the perfect place to do videos. And so, I bought the house for the countertop, basically. Makes sense. Bought my car because I like the color. It matched my trailer. Some of you are going, of course. So, and I'm not sorry. 20 years later, I'm not sorry. I still got the car. Don't have the trailer, but I've still got the car. So anyway, I got the earbuds, and I'm smart enough to know they are wireless. So the most important charge you can put on anything that's wireless is the first one, right? Whether it's Clarence the cleaner, for those of you who know, I've got a robotic cleaner that I send around the house. Actually, this house doesn't get nearly as dusty as my old one. So I only send Clarence off to dust the floors once a week here. I used to have to do it at least twice a week at my other place. But anything that you get new, the very first charge you give it, anything that needs a charge, the very first charge you give it is the most important one. I'm pretty sure you all know that. The reason is because that will set up the value of the battery. So if you only set it up for an hour because, I got to play with this, what will happen is it will never hold a big charge, right? Because you didn't charge it properly the first time. Don't know how that works in physics, but somebody will. So I got the earbuds and I plugged them in and overnight went to bed. And then tried to read the instructions. That was interesting. These instructions were not written by somebody that speaks very good English. And I was going to say ESL, but I am ESL. So, and I think I speak fairly good English. But, and plus they didn't have somebody who does speak fairly good English read the instructions. I think I'm making my point here, right? So the instructions were minimal at best, and then it didn't help me a whole lot either. So everything was fine. And with the help of Lauren in Tasmania and Jody and everybody else, I managed to get my tablet set up. So I can now, I've been having difficulty hearing my tablet if I want to watch a movie on my tablet because my hearing's gone. And now I can hear. I can literally just put my earbuds in and I can hear. Oh, so exciting. But I can hear and still go to the washroom and carry on hearing. That's the bit I like. And then the funny thing is that I got that set up, I got my phone set up, and then I thought, I wonder if it will set up so I can hear movies on my laptop. And Lauren said, absolutely. So what I did was I actually did try and set it up. And do you think it would work? I want to tell you it was the funniest thing because I went into the settings, I went to the Bluetooth thing, I said add a device, and the first thing it said was, what is the PIN of your new device? Is it 567942? And I'm going, yeah, I'm busy with the instructions, going, a little bit of paper like this, and I'm going, doesn't give me a PIN. Well, of course, have you noticed that so often the instructions are printed in pale gray? At my age, you can't read pale gray. Even if you're wearing glasses, it's difficult. So never mind. So I go, okay, fine. Somebody else must have had this problem, right? That's how my thinking goes. So I go to YouTube. And basically, that didn't give me the answer either. So then I thought, when all else fails, get hold of Cisco, because Cisco is, technically a guru, but, it took him too long to come back to me. And then I went to YouTube, of course, and I didn't get it there. And then I got frustrated. Do any of you know that feeling? And I just went, seriously. And I just kept hitting, it kept saying, is it this number? And I'd go, yes. And it didn't connect. And then the fourth time it connected. I still don't quite know why. But what I do know now is when I'm putting it on, when I'm trying to connect to my laptop, whatever, if it doesn't pair immediately and I have to reset it again, reinstall it or whatever, just keep hitting the number until eventually one of them works. It's, it's very useful. So I now have this ability and no wires, no bits of something sticking out. Now, you're probably saying, why is that important, Sal? Because it's important to me because I now know I can get this sort of hearing aid out of China. All right. As opposed to paying 4,000 a set each, 4,000 each, locally. So to me, this is a big saving because I now know that I can wear these and how they work. So now I'm going to try a set as hearing aids as well to see, because I can buy 2 sets for far less than I could buy just one single one commercially. And I think that's the great thing about today's marketing. So, procrastination. How did you guys, by the way, did any of you achieve anything? I should have asked that while I was busy chit-chatting. I'd like to know what achievements you got this week. Jody, I know that you made a whole stack of masks, and can you remind me where they're going? I'm trying to remember, but Jody, who has a lot of reasons not to go near a sewing machine. She has serious arthritis in her hands. She has serious core strength issues. She has all sorts of good excuses not to be near a sewing machine. Oh, by the way, she is in almost constant pain anyway due to her medical situation. And yet she is busy making masks for family, friends, and the Hopi tribe in Arizona. Right? You see, that's what makes a difference in the world. Not, oh, I would do it if I didn't have arthritis. Oh, what happened? Oh, I think I touched my phone by accident. Let me disconnect that. Yeah, that's what it was. I can hear it in my ears. But it's like I would do it, but whatever. So anybody who can overcome the excuse, all right? Anybody that can overcome the excuse knows that they have now got emotional intelligence. That is the interesting thing. Right, Laurie's Life Journey, that's Laurie, okay. She has arthritis too. It is so painful. I've got it, I don't know if you can see what's happened to my little finger. But it's got it's got a whole new bent on life, if you like. But I've got arthritis in that finger. I've got arthritis in my hips. I've got a same earbud falling out again. And I've got, anyway, I got arthritis going all over the place. And so, but the thing is this, if I use it as an excuse not to do things, then it wins. Does that make sense? If I use my arthritis as an excuse to not do things, then the arthritis wins. And what I found really interesting is when I first met Jody, she was on a path to dying. And I say that, and she agrees with me, because she was so sick she couldn't do anything anymore. And luckily, just working with her, we managed to, hi there, Beth, we managed to turn her thinking around. And now she is busy saying that one thing I kept saying to you, don't work on what you can't do, work on what you can do. Yep, there she is, and she's saying it at the same time. Jody's saying, I'm sorry, Laurie, yes, it's incredibly painful and can be limiting, but we can approach it from what can we do attitude. Ah, Jody's saying, Sal saved my life, no mincing words. Yeah. I think you did, actually, Jody. Yeah. I flapped my lips. I didn't do the steps you did, honey. I mean, I'd love to take credit. But, with all due respect, you did the work, not me. I might have given you the input, the same as you gave me input about how to deal with my my blood sugar, Oh, Beth, I'm sorry to hear that you're nauseous today. Beth, if you've just come in, we just had a tutorial on how to do hydroponic lettuce, and how to, there's the little one. There we go. And how to grow lettuce in toilet paper from a cutoff. Like this was a cutoff from the bottom of that. So Sharon's saying, we're in a bad place this week, but today turned bright. My daughter was exposed to, the virus at work. The test came today, negative. Wow, that's good. Yeah, Beth is actually probably only giving us half the story, because half the story is that it's so hot at work, but the other half is that she has not been well, and that also her daughter is not well. So she's dealing with stress issues as well as the heat. And so just be aware of that. By the way, how much do you like having a new view of my home? A totally different spectre. Now, the trick is, if I keep changing the location of the broadcast, in other words, if this works the way that it does, then it will help me tidy up my house in little areas. But, you're probably going to get it from the kitchen because it's so comfortable for me to do it here. Yeah, I understood it, Sharon. I got it. I read typos quite well. You have to if you're going to do what I do. It goes into the brain as vivid. That's what it said. And I went, no, that's not what you mean. So I am your autocorrect. Yes, Beth is saying, I'm drinking lots of water. Maybe I need Gatorade. Yes, take some electrolytes. That's something that Jody has taught me. By the way, Jody, if you don't have a bottle of Gatorade, what is the go around for electrolytes? Just so people can know. Thank you for that donation, Jody. It all helps. By the way, for those of you who might want to donate towards the money-saving tips and so forth, and next week, just so that people know, we're going to be showing you how to make tea lights out of these sort of candles that are half burnt down. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, so Beth is saying it's frustrating. I don't even know my own body anymore. I'm all out of whack. Yes, and just keep doing the best that you can. Does it mean that I will be able to hear Erin now? I don't know, Erin. That is a very good question. Maybe I will try a telephone call one day and see whether I understand. It's been one of my frustrations that I definitely have that problem. Or I tell you what, why don't you send me a little voice clip, Erin, to my messenger, and then I'll be able to test that out. Because I'll keep my earbuds in, and when I switch over to the phone, I will check it out. How about that? Doesn't have to be now or today, but just sometimes. All right, so Jody's saying anything with sodium and magnesium. Yeah, okay, like what, Jody? Sodium is salt, right? Magnesium would be bananas. All right, and Sharon's saying there's something out called Body Armor. She likes that better than Gatorade. Yeah, so anything any heat related. I got heat stroke once, and the first thing they did is have me drink. I think I had to take some salt. Yeah. We will see. So we all learn here, that's for sure. It's one of the things that we do. And by the way, how many of you like these demonstration type broadcasts? Okay, so Laurie's saying, I've learned that sodium and magnesium are important since I've been doing low carb. Yeah, I must admit that I try to be careful of the sodium side of it because of my age, but I do try to have at least half a banana a day. I normally put it in, like, for example, the apple juice that I showed you made out of the core. But I sometimes will add a banana in there, a bit of lemon, so the banana doesn't go nasty color, but the lemon's already there because of the apple. Just throw in half a banana and you got yourself some sodium for the day. All right, so procrastination. Didn't get much on the achievements. Did any of you procrastinate this week about something that's beginning to make you beat up on yourself a bit? You will remember that I was procrastinating about the fact that I've got money in the bank that I haven't invested because I don't know what to do. And what I did this week is I did have a very serious talk with Benji again, because I reckon if anybody knows what to do with money these days, it seems to be Benji. And so I had a really good talk with him and listened to what he said, because you understand that's a different thing. I've noticed, maybe I'm not the only one that does this, but I will actually ask for somebody for advice, and then I'll spend half the time interrupting them and giving them my side of the story. I am really trying to learn how to just shut up and listen. Ask a good question and then listen. So anyway, I did get the basics of what he was saying. And what I was surprised about was he said he wasn't surprised that I was fearful about what to do. He said everybody that's got money is fearful as to what to do. Even Warren Buffett doesn't know what to do at the moment. Right? So I said, oh, that makes me feel a lot better. Thank you. And he said, no. So the thing is this, put it anywhere where you're going to get slightly more interest than you've got now. That's solid. In other words, even though the bank's only going to give you 0.5% more if you put it here, it's probably worth putting it there and get the extra 0.5%. So I am now on the next step, people, on my procrastination. If you've got any procrastination going on that you need some support on, just start typing about it so we can, make a note of it and keep track of it for you. So now, I don't know if it makes sense. Now that I've had that other conversation with Benji, I'm not quite as fearful as I was last week. So thank you, guys. I'm going to keep reporting back to you on my procrastination. And my next step is, I thought, well, I'm going to get back to my financial advisor. And I thought, you know something? I don't even need to do that. I have online banking. I can just literally move that money. Today, everything we've got is so technically brilliant. I can just move that money around as I want to. I didn't get a scare of the week that I know of. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did get a scare of the week. If any of you had a scare this week, other than Jeannie and York, but if any of you have had a scare of the week, you know, just let me know. My scare of the week was getting the new battery charger. Now, my old battery charger, I've been using it for 20 years, the one that's still in the house somewhere, but I can't find. It was the funniest thing. Hi, Jamie. It was the funniest thing because in the old one, I used to, you know, hook it all up, put it on my battery and walk away, and I was fine. Yeah, I knew exactly how to use it, right? Everything's easy to use once you know how to use it. Do we all agree? Everything's easy to do. You know, making tea lights out of, yeah. It's easy to do once you know how to do it. Turning this into this is easy to do once you know how to do it. It's simple. Keeping your lettuce alive and growing hydroponically for more than a week is easy to do once you know how to do it. So anyway, I get a new battery charger. Now, do any of you understand? Oh, is it just me? Because it's new, 20 years newer than the last one, now I've got to sort of wonder if this works the same way. Now I start getting some fear. Do any of you relate to this? And now I'm actually reading the instructions. Do I have a video on how you made the lettuce grow? It's the beginning of this broadcast. Not quite the beginning. No, it's okay. It's in this broadcast. Just need to replay it. What I will do, if Jody reminds me, is I will put a note to say when this bit actually starts. Right? Just fast forward through it if you want to. You'll find it. I showed you how to do all of these. I showed you how to do, you know, growing. This is growing from a little bit of mint that was from the store. What else did I show you? Yeah, anyway, I did all sorts of things that I'm doing in my my greenhouse garden over there. But, you know, this is amazing, and it's saving me so much money. And this I really, oh, by the way, I also grow celery. Hang on, where have I got it? Okay. So this celery will come up, also cut up from the bottom of the celery, and also onion. Do the same thing. All right, and you all know that I'm hydroponically growing beans. I'm so excited. And the same system, right? Oh, we got roots coming through. Look at that. There's a little root just there. So exciting. And we planted that mid-April. Or April, I don't know when in April. And that's Benny the bean. I'm going to be so excited when I can eat a bean off that thing, even if it's just one that I put in with some. All right, so here's the scare of the week. So I get the new battery charger, and for some reason it frightened the living daylights out of me. And I literally was watching YouTube videos and all sorts of other things. And then, yeah, anyway, basically I spent an awful lot of time with my fear. And then eventually I just went, this is ridiculous, you know. It's a battery charger, so I'll just turn it on. You know, don't have the cables together. And just turn it on and connect it, and then press the button for charge. And that's what I did, and I charged it overnight. I have no idea if it worked, but I'll let you know by Sunday. But what I wanted to say was, I got really scared. So I want to know, do you guys get scared when you've got new equipment that could be dangerous? Or is it just me? And what was the last piece of equipment that scared you? I think one of the funniest stories, okay, Nash, not a problem. One of the funniest stories was that I remember being in Home Depot one day, and there was this incredible scroll saw. Now, do you know what a scroll saw is? Hang on a second. Okay, I'm going to draw that. Okay, because not everybody knows what a scroll saw is. So if you're looking at it sideways, it's a saw that has a blade. You're looking at it sideways, right? And this blade goes up and down. And what you do is you bring a piece of wood towards it and it cuts it. Okay. Now I want to tell you, I bought this incredible scroll saw for, it was on sale, and I knew that was a really good price for it. So I bought it. And I knew I could take off a hand with that thing if I wasn't careful, and definitely more than a fingernail, probably a finger, if I didn't do that properly. I was so scared to even turn it on that what I did is I had it in my garage in the days when I could still get my car in my garage. And it was so funny because I literally every day would drive home for work and I left it right in front of me. So I had to look at it every day. Now that's called desensitizing. All right. Now, the same way, if you are sensitive to somebody calling it, like, for example, if I am sensitive to being called old, then what I do is I get all my friends to remind me that I'm old. Okay. So I can desensitize myself to that. If I'm sensitive about the bags under my eyes, then I will let people go, oh, those bags are looking good today. So, so I can desensitize myself because I have got bags under my eyes. So I need to desensitize the truth. And so the interesting thing is that I literally, with the scroll saw, looked at it for, I think, about a month before I went, that's enough looking at the damn thing. And, I was going to bed and reading the instructions and, okay, and I, until I was pretty sure I knew what I was doing. Now, I don't normally read instructions, but with something that can take my hand off, yeah. And then after a month, I turned it on and I tried something. And was I scared? Yes. And was I wearing protective goggles? Yes. And did the first piece of wood fly through the garage? Yep. I did make mistakes, but that's how you learn. And so, but it was wonderful. All right. So Sharon's saying, I want a scroll saw and a new weed eater and a jigsaw. And I forgot what else is on my list. Okay. So the scroll saw, I want to tell you, is I did wonderful Christmas presents with it that year. I made beautiful, intricate angels, that came apart, and you could put like a jigsaw of an angel for one of my friends. And anyway, but it's very, very useful. And I've still got it, 20 years later. So anything that is dangerous, is scary. So what I'm saying to you is just keep doing what you need to do to desensitize. Knowledge is a great desensitizer, right? So do read the instructions until you feel more comfortable. What I wondered was if any of you made any mistakes this week. Because that's another area that I've decided every week I'm going to talk about. Jody's talking about, I would like a Dremel. I want to tell you something, Jody. I think for anybody that is at all handy, a Dremel is a must. I have the original Dremel. I have an upmarket Dremel. I have even a little Dremel router, a baby Dremel router. I have I have, and then it's amazing. If I ever get my storage shed unpacked, I have got so many great fun tools that you guys are going to love. And I've got electricity in the shed, so I can do a broadcast and show you. I won't be demonstrating them, but I can show you that I got them. So you know I'm not BSing you. But it might take a year until I get to them. You know, it's a long way down that shed. All right, now then, this one is really, I should really save the mistakes for the Friday evening broadcast, because, you know, they're normally funny. But the first one I wanted to tell you about was, wait 1 second. I'm just going to go and get that. So, I feed my lettuces and things, you know, with this concoction of Miracle Grow that I dilute. But here's what I want you to understand. I found I have a smaller bag that you buy these big bags of Miracle Grow, and then I have a smaller container that I decant it into, and it lasts me about a year. Well, I picked up one of these bags, not realizing that it was already open, and I held it up to cut the end so that I could, and it was all falling out the bottom. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Sharon saying about that I would not BS you. You want to tell you, Sharon, that brings tears to my eyes that you know that. I really appreciate that you, guess you've never seen that light fixture before either. Oh, and look at that. There you go. There's my big skylight. Oh, it's quite nice to change the vision every now and then. Anyway, so have you seen the color of this stuff? Can you imagine this all over my floor? It was very pretty. By the way, all over my countertop, and does that color stain? I managed to get it off everything. But how many of you are smiling and going, that's my girl? And you don't want to hear what I said. No, oh dear, wasn't what I said. And then I was even scared to walk because I was scared it was in my toes, and, you know, it was like, is it under my feet? And, you know, it was just really difficult. I am really glad that I've got 2 dustbusters in the house, one in my dining room and one in my craft room, because it was like, where's the dustbuster? I need that in a hurry. Now, the other thing was that I got some strawberries, and I've noticed that the quality of strawberries here in British Columbia has gone way downhill. Literally, when I open up a punnet of strawberries, half of them are ready to turn. You know, literally, if you don't cut the soft bits out and start eating them today, they are gone. And so what I did was I thought, okay, fine, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, you know, cut away the soft bits, but I'm going to dehydrate the rest of those that are, you know, just about to turn. And so I put them in my toaster oven to do what I've been doing in the past. And I want to tell you that something went wrong with my toaster oven, and I woke up to charcoal strawberries. Didn't work very well. But I was also thinking, how many of you would like to know how to do fruit roll-up things? I think we should try making those, don't you? Because we can do that now that we've got all this. Oh, that's good. Jody's saying, I spilt granular splendor all over creation the other day. The fan was on. We should keep these for Friday evenings, right? Yeah, I like that, Jody. Yeah, so we'll try fruit. Jody, could you add it to the list, and I will see if I can find out how to do it. Yeah, now then, the scam of the week. This was an interesting one. I don't know how many of you have got an update for Google One. You know, it's not Google Plus anymore, but now they now call it Google One, all right? And I don't know if any of you have had the update for that, but I was having a problem with something. And so what I did was I went to try and find some customer service to help me with Google One on this issue. And what I noticed was, I don't know why, I must have been busy with my mind elsewhere, but 9 times out of 10, those top two things that are on when you search, are paid for ads, all right, that don't look like they're paid for ads, but they are. And of course, I clicked on one of them, and we're here to help you. What's your problem? And and you get you really invested before they say, I'm now going to pass you on to the expert who's going to answer it for you. Please fill in this form on the way. Well, of course, the form is for you to pay money to get that answer. So please don't do that. Please know that Google One does not charge you for customer service, and nor does any reputable provider, all right? You should not have to pay to get help. So if they're asking you to pay, this isn't Google. This is somebody else pretending to be part of them. So that's something I wanted to make sure that did any of you get caught in a scam at all this week? I've now got, okay, I've now got the one I got scammed on. You remember I was telling you about these people? The Canterbury. Sounds like Canterbury, but it isn't. It's Canterbury Farms. And basically, this is touted to help arthritis. And the idea is that you take about 20 drops a day. And I'll let you know if it works. Oh, yes, this is the one that was the add-on product. But this was worse, Jody. If you remember that when I managed to get the add-on products dropped, they then sent me this. And then I received that piece of paper that said they were going to be sending me this every month. I didn't ask for that. Plus, they also said, at a cost of da-da-da-da-da. And when I phoned them and said, I don't want it every month, they said, then we need to charge you another $20 for this. And eventually I ended up paying the $20 just to get them out of my hair because I just didn't want to deal with them anymore. Beth is saying, I got a phone call scam at work. Not falling for that. My whistle worked great. That's a great, I hope I busted his eardrum. Beth, I'm trying to think sadly, not badly, of the people who do the scams. I've now got something that I do, and I say, I am so sorry that you are so broke that you felt the need to take a job that scams people. Because what I want to do is not punish the person on the phone. They're just trying to earn a buck, maybe to feed a family, Beth. All right? I don't think anybody does that job. Hugs to you back, Sharon. How was the date? So to me, this is like, I try not to punish the messenger. It's not, what if they get paid $5 a day? They call 3 times a day? Yeah, then that's definitely, then you need to press star 60, whatever it is in the States, right? So anyway, yeah, I agree with you. They're very, very frustrating. So thank you. And by the way, what was the scam? That's what we're trying to find out, is so that we can keep people informed of scams. And by the way, on the hemp oil thing for arthritis, I've been asking Cisco to look into this to find out if he actually said there's something better than this, but it is hemp related. That he said his grandmother used for her arthritis. And Jody, as soon as I find out what it is, I'm going to let you know. But if this works, hemp oil is wonderful for the body, though, really. So it is a good idea. I don't like it because it needs to be in the fridge. And when I say, I don't think about it tried to tell me something, and I don't know what it tried to tell me. Did you guys hear anything? Some message came through on my earphone, and I have no idea. Okay, Jamie's also saying hemp oil is wonderful. Okay, what I'm trying to do is to find something to help my arthritis, and if it works for me, then I'm going to make sure that you all know about it, in case you end up my age with arthritis. So that's good. So again, what I wanted to do is, if there are any things that you've seen and you'd like to see me try, knowing what I want to do is the real life, okay, let me try this for you. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't have tried it sometime before, but I don't want to do a perfect video. I want you to see me trying to do it, literally like I showed you the hydroponics, because I think when you can see, hang on a second, Sal didn't record this. Sal didn't edit out the difficult bits. This is literally what she did. I think it's easier to realize that, hey, I can do that too. How many of you were quite inspired when you saw how easy it is to, grow to grow these, right? All right, so Jamie's saying, I have a client who uses a hemp CBD roller. Yes, that is part of what I'm wondering. Anyway, what Cisco's doing, he's getting some information. But the first thing, so Jody, just take a note of that for yourself. The first thing, of course, that he asked for is, what are you feeding your body with, right? I don't know what it's telling me. Because I'm talking and I can't hear what she says. Anyway, but he wanted to know what medications am I taking, what over-the-counter medications was I taking, because he wanted to make sure that nothing clashes. So that is something else. But I think an external CDC roller is actually a good idea. So Jody, let's try and test that. I just can't believe that I've actually got the technology now to be able to stand here and talk to you. That is so freeing somehow. And so there's part of me that goes, any minute now I'm going to be taking the show on the road at a whole different level, right? So I hope you've enjoyed this, but before I do anything, I do want to do the countdown. And it is important that we keep track. One of the things that I keep saying, Sandy's saying, oh goodness, the stream has been so full of information. I've missed a ton. I'll have to rewatch it later, but I'm here only for half listening. I feel bad, because I want to interact with you all. Well, Sandy, we hope that you will feel better, but the whole reason we do stuff on YouTube is so that it will be there for you to watch when you're busy, in the washroom. By the way, how many of you multitask in the washroom? I've been dying to tell you this, and I always, I have to tell you something, that I throw all my laundry into a cubie and I take it and leave it in my washroom, so that when I'm sitting there, I can fold laundry. It also has a two-for one type result. It keeps me sitting longer, which is healthier. I'm not pee and go. But the other thing is that it's something I'm doing while I'm sitting there. So yeah, Beth is saying, I listen to you. I listen to you in the bathroom while getting ready for work. Exactly. But I want to tell you, I fold the laundry that needs to stay in the bathroom. I sort my laundry into certain things, and I only fold the stuff that doesn't go to the bathroom in the laundry room. And then I just take I got these cubies, and I take my cubie and I put it next to my, anyway, here we go. For those of you who need to know, Valentine's Day is 8 months and 2 weeks away. Christmas is 202 days. We're getting down into the 100 and something soon, people. By next week, we will only have 100 and something days left, which means we've only got 5 months and 29 days to get our cards into the mail for overseas, and we'll be late. Thanksgiving, for those of you who are US related, is 5 months and 24 days away. And for those of us in Canada, it's only 4 months and 9 days away. I'm wondering if we will do Thanksgiving the same way this year. For those of you who are in the States, you have 1 month and 10 days to do your taxes. And I believe we Canadians are over our limit. Oh, Sandy's saying, I know, but I feel bad because I want to interact live. Yes, you know something? We love it when you're here interacting live as well. But some days you can't. I nearly missed the broadcast completely today, Sandy. I didn't wake up until 11 o'clock and I do a 12 o'clock broadcast. Guess what? Beth is saying, my husband is used to you in the bathroom now. Normally he's saying, who are you talking to in the bathroom? Well, I'm hoping this particular broadcast, Beth, it had so much in it, so hopefully you enjoy it. Summer is just 2 weeks away. Now, that's good news on the one side, but it means that fall's coming too. All right, by the way, if you happen to be south of the equator, that means that winter is, for Lauren and people like that south of the equator, winter is only 2 weeks away. Ugh, I can just feel it already, can't you? Jody, can you make a note for me to put in the next equinox when the clocks will go? You fall forward. No, you spring forward, fall back, right? We get an extra hour of sleep. We like that. For those of you who understand Mercury being in retrograde, it's coming up. And it starts in June 18. And it goes all the way through to July 12. So, I think I get my investments done before then. What do you think? I've now lived in the house for 4 months and 25 days, nearly 5 months. Isn't that amazing? And to be honest, and it is, I beat up on myself because I'm still unpacking. And I beat up on myself because I've still got 6 boxes here in my dining room. But the funny thing is, that I know what's in them. So that's why I haven't unpacked them. And I know they're not things that are very important to me because I haven't unpacked them. Does that make sense? And then I've got probably 12 of them in my bedroom, but I'm not worried. What I have done, and I'm pleased about that, is I have made space for the freezer that will arrive next month. So that space is now cleared and I know where it's going to go. And what I've decided to do is to put the freezer in the craft room so that there's plenty of room for it there. Secondly, it's just outside the laundry room, which means I have a folding table right outside the laundry room, stealth. And then I also have a cutting table. Hi, Linda. I have a cutting table in my craft room. So in terms of multi-purpose furniture, a freezer in the craft room is not a bad idea if you have room for it. Jody's saying we have 109 days. Can you put that into the notes for me, Jody, so that I can put that into the countdown? Yeah, Linda, it is great to see you. Linda, I need to tell you that we were quoting you last week. just so that you know. I can't remember which day it was, but you and your 10-minute rule. And, it's amazing how many people that has helped. Well, I know that I started the 10-minute challenge, but, you talked about people complaining and you don't allow them to complain for more than 10 minutes. It's really, I just want to tell you, you probably didn't know that it was going to be a legacy, but I'm amazed how many people have said, excuse me, you've been complaining for 10 minutes now, that's enough. Let's move on. So very, very important. So in terms of having been here for 6 months, my perfectionist, not 6 months, 4 months. My perfectionist thinks, I keep looking in my dining room, but my perfectionist seems to think that I should be unpacked by now. And I'm going, I think I've done pretty well because I'm not just unpacking, I'm actually finding a home for things. All right, so this is called, it's not just open the box, and put it all on the floor. It's like, as I go through the box, everything has to be put away as far as possible. I do have a few things that I haven't found a home for. And what I'm trying to do is keep them all in one place. It may end up being the box that I throw away. Very important. So I don't know if any of you can relate, and I'm pretty sure that you can, but it's a difficult thing when you are moving. And now, of course, we got locked down. And that made it somehow different again. And now I'm hearing from my neighbor that, we've got a nice day today. Not it's a bit overcast, but nice. And then we're going to have nearly a week of rain. So you know what happens to me when it rains, right? I start to get, for some reason, I'm starting to get ocular migraines, where my vision splits. So that's not much fun. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Linda, that's good. Welcome back. So Linda, I don't know if you were here for the beginning, but we were learning how to grow hydroponic lettuce. And also, this is a cutoff. All right, this is a cutoff from a romaine lettuce, and this is how it's grown, just in toilet paper. And this is actually an experiment that I really love because I'm going, wouldn't it be nice just to have a couple of wine glasses with lettuce in them, maybe as a table decoration, if you haven't got anywhere else to put lettuce. I'm actually, it's quite funny because I've got this new format now for the skills broadcast, and we will continue to do more. By the way, I wanted to just make sure I gave a comment about this. You will have heard about Jeannie's unbelievable disaster where their house caught fire, and they are now living in a hotel, but they apparently will be going back to their house next week, I think she said. And I'm trying to find out how we can help, and I will put it up on Facebook and talk about it on the broadcast. But what I wanted to say was, she said what helped her, this is amazing, was the be prepared, not scared motto that we have. And she said, all the time when she was trying not to panic, she's going, be prepared, not scared. What do you need with you? Be prepared, not scared. What can you not live without that you can grab in a hurry? And, I think one of the things I would ask us all is to have that mentality this week. And where are you going to put the stuff that needs to be together? Your passport, your bank books, your credit, your anything that is, difficult to replace. Everything is difficult to replace if you haven't got money. But what I'm saying is, the stuff that is very difficult to replace. I also, again, suggest, because that's what I do, when I get a new passport, I photocopy it, and then I take it to a notary public and get them, actually, I get them to photocopy it and stamp it as a legal photocopy of my passport. All right. So in other words, a legal person has seen the passport and confirms this is my passport and this is a legal copy of it. Because always I want to make sure that I have, got that. Now, of course, you're asking me, where is it, Sal? Where is that document in my new house? Yeah, right. I'll be doing a bit of moving around. So what I want to do is be prepared, not scared. What if your house, where if you had the problem that Jeannie's got, that, you lost so much. One of the things that I realize is I haven't put a spare key somewhere smart outside the house. I realize that. And I don't mean under the mat, right? It's somewhere smart where I can tell maybe one neighbor and, Yvonne and Dougie, where that key is. So if they ever need to come in, that they can do it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And I won't be telling you where it is because then I'd be telling the whole of YouTube. Not a good idea. But let's start thinking of some security things, all right? And I think we can take Jeannie's experience and turn it into a let's be prepared, not scared moment for all of us, all right? What would you, the interesting thing was that she did take a lot of things in a hurry that she needed. And, and she said, I could just kept saying in my mind, be prepared, not scared, be prepared for the dog, take dog food, be prepared, and she said it was amazing, Sal. I just kept saying, be prepared, and I knew what to take. So when I think about it, when I came up with that slogan, I didn't really think that it would catch on the way that it has, but I am delighted. And if any of you have stories about things where be prepared, not scared has helped you, please share them with me so that I can continue to let people know why this works so well, why having just one mantra can change your life if you use it properly. All right, for Jody, all right, it's not about what you can't do, it's what can you do. All right, I remember that changed her life in quite a way. All right, Linda's saying hers is, what would Sal say? Yeah. See, I don't really think, but if it helps, Linda, I am the first one to say, isn't that wonderful? I'm so happy. Right? I am just so happy that helps you, because what I know is I'm always sitting on your shoulder, right? Because you can just ask that question and you can hear my answer. Am I correct? I got a hair. Where's that? Go away. Show's on blue. So Linda, what I want to know is, do I answer you? You see, I believe, right, that it's really important that you can actually know what I'm going to say because you can hear me. And Jody's saying also just take the next step. It's so helpful in any area of life. So I can see, Jody, I think we need to write these down because obviously there's a book here, right? If we put all those, each is a chapter, really, about why it works. Why does it work to have these little mantras going on? And I think also the one that I use a lot is, if they paid you $1 million to find an answer for this, could you do it? You see, that inspires me a lot, because that means, and I will go, yeah. And I go, well, how would you do it then? And I go, okay, let me work on that. And the same thing is, that I saw videos about hydroponics that people were doing. And I thought, that doesn't look that difficult. I think I could do that. But I don't want to do it the way they're doing it because it looks ugly. How many of you, I don't think 6 lettuces in a shoebox, looks ugly, do you? Right? I mean, to me, to me, that sitting, on my windowsill looks wonderful. And by the way, I would rather have that as a centerpiece on my table than something that has no use whatsoever. So that's the next thing maybe I need to design. Yeah. Little holes. Yeah. Now I'm getting quite excited because next month the freezer arrives and that's going to have a lot of polystyrene in it. Now, normally I hate polystyrene because polystyrene, it's not recyclable the way that you want it to be. But I'm going, it's very useful for hydroponics. And how many of you know this time it's not going to be thrown away? By the way, I found, hang on, I'm going to try and turn this around, which is a little bit difficult, but I think I can do it. Wait. I want to show you a technical problem I had. Whoops. I'm going to move around to the other side. It's so exciting. All these possibilities suddenly. Okay, I didn't prepare to do this. Okay, so this is my wall unit in the dining room. Yeah, right. So you know that. Here's my dining room table full of crud. But when I put this up, there was this space here, right, at the end, about this big. And what happens is that it kept moving. And then I found some polystyrene and I went, that is a very useful thing for my wall unit. So I cut 2 pieces of polystyrene and I now use these bricks as the stabilizer for my wall unit. Surely I can. Of course, can I get it back, people? There we go. Now, what I've also noticed is whoever put the wallpaper up in this house didn't use very good glue, and the wallpaper is coming down in places. I've just seen this a bit there from the heat. Obviously, by the time I finish summer, but I've already fixed one, so I can fix another. I just need to know which ones are coming. You can just see it lifting. So I can do this because I am smart. Of course, it means it's going to be difficult, but one step at a time, right? So Linda's saying, yes, you're on my shoulder. Oh, yeah. You've warmed into my brain more than you know. Well, you've warmed into mine as well, Linda. And I'd like to say that that's what we do, right? I think the most important thing about what we do is we help one another. The most important thing that we do is when we can't find a solution, one of us helps the other find a solution. And that is what life is about. That's what community is about. And that's what makes me happy. And I hope that's what makes you happy as well. So everybody, have a wonderful week. And by the way, before you spend a fortune on your next Diva light, I find these work really well. I'm going to probably get a couple more, and I actually put them up in my vanity. Because they are really great. I love them. So Nicholas is saying, let me read that. It's the happy lady. She's wearing red trousers. Well, actually, Nicholas, they're not red. That's red. This is a sort of red, but it's really pink. It's like a pink. They call it shocking pink, Nicholas. Shocking pink. I have no idea why. That's red up there. What I'm wearing is pink. But thank you. Nicholas, a big hug to you. And how's the bread going? That's what I wanted to ask, Linda. How is the bread making going? And do you guys know that you can make pizza from that bread, and you can make, little pizza snacks from that bread and all sorts of stuff? I just wondered whether you had gone that far. I quite often, if I feel like a pizza, I will make little strips like this big of that bread, and then just, put cheese on top and some, and does he like pizza? Nicholas, do you like pizza? He's made it 3 times now. I told you he would. But what I find it's really useful, just to take a little bit of that dough, and I just make these little pizza strips, where it's got maybe 2 grape tomatoes, so first of all, some marbled cheese, and then 2 grape tomatoes, lots of pepper, and then I just cook it, and it's just a very nice little, not a whole pizza, just a nice little snack. So I thought he might like to learn how to make those. And then added his own toppings. That's wonderful. You see, that's the whole thing. This is, I think, the more Nicholas gets to do, the happier he's going to be. And really, I'm just continue to applaud you that you have done the incredible work that you've done with him. So thank you. And Nicholas, big hug to all of you. Right, so it must be movie night for him, am I right? What's the movie for him that he's watching tonight? I always like hearing what movie he's going to see. He seems to like the Keystone Cops type movies. Okay, well, if you can type it before I finish the broadcast, that would be awesome. If not, send me a note. All right, everybody. So this is Dear Mama Sal saying, we spent a little bit of time. It's doing it tomorrow. You're doing Tomb Raider tonight. Okay. So we spent a little bit of time talking about how to save money here. We spent a little bit of time showing you just how simple it can be. If you don't want to do that, you can do this. And the other thing is that it can be a really fun experiment. I'd love to see, something like Nicholas try a little bit of this if necessary. I know that you've probably got lots of room outside, but there's something about, actually doing this that's really quite exciting. I'm pretty sure that within the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to have beans coming out of it. So that is going to be wonderful. Well, Sandy, I'm glad you found it helpful. And that's what I decided, that I'm going to change the format of the skills broadcast. We will continue the skills, because these are skills that we have. But what I realize is I want to share them, and I can do it live because I can. Right? This is Dear Mama Sal saying, please remember, if you're in an apartment, check your rental agreement, because if you're renting, some rental agreements say that you are not allowed to grow vegetables inside your house. I personally think that was in the days of people growing marijuana in houses. So I would say that, to me, I cannot see that if I'm allowed to grow a plant, they can say, well, it's because of the soil or whatever, and you're going, yeah, but I grow plants in that potting soil. So it's not about the soil. So to me, I would probably, in this day and age, fight it, but just be careful, all right? I'd hate for anybody to get evicted because of trying to grow vegetables in their house. But, quite honestly, I don't think this is going to cause a major problem in anybody's life, all right? And I don't think that having this on your windowsill is going to, cause a major problem. And you can still have wonderful fresh lettuce on your sandwich if you want it every week. So be creative. Don't make it obvious. Make it fun. So you're growing onions. Yes, I've got a new onion starting. Whoops. This is my onion. Yeah. I've got a new onion starting here. I'm just growing. Oh, that's right over my phone. That was not clever. Linda, I am I'm growing one just in paper towel to see if it works. But please make sure that you give them nutrient-enriched water, all right? In other words, I put a little bit of Miracle Grow in the water every time I feed. I give them water. It's got a little bit of nutrient in it. I'm going to leave that in the sun to dry. So best of luck. Do not spill water. Luckily, it wasn't very much. But this, of course, is really easy. It's just a milk jug cut 2/3 of the way down and turned upside down. Stuff the paper in the bottom, and you got yourself a self-watering system. So easy. This is DearMamaSal saying, hope you enjoyed it. I did. It was so fun to be able to walk around and do a broadcast. Thank you so much. I will be thanking Cisco big time. You know, it's funny. He knows what I do. And he said to me, would you like some earbuds? And I said, yeah, I thought they were just for listening, quite honestly. I've got to be honest. And it was so funny because I was busy on the phone with Benji testing them. And I walked away from the phone. And I suddenly, I walked away from the phone. He can't hear me. And he said, I can hear you perfectly. And it was only then that I realized they had antennas in them that you can't see. How many of you know that was so exciting? I was just like, this is so exciting. Imagine what I can do with broadcasts with these now. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is DearMamaSal saying, I had fun and I hope you did. I hope you learned a little. Look after one another, but please, please, please save some money wherever you can. I think you're going to be glad of it. Learn, you know, as I keep saying to you, the reason I'm doing this is not because I am tight. I am doing this in case I need to. I want to make sure that come the winter, if the price of lettuce goes to $10 a head, that I can at least supply half my needs by myself, even in winter. All right, just by having a really beautiful dining room table decoration called lettuce. I can see that now, can't you? You know I'm going to be working on that one to make myself a little hydroponic centerpiece for my dining room. That's clever. All right, so this is DearMamaSal saying, love you dearly. All right, be careful out there, whatever you do. And we'll see you tonight for Smile Time. This is DearMamaSal saying, bye-bye for now. Oh, I can't shut the door. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can. I can do it this way. Bye.